Gregor Samsa is the main protagonist in Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis. He's a traveling salesman who wakes up one day to find that he is transformed into an insect. He has a younger sister, Grete, who takes care of him after his metamorphosis. He and Grete live with their parents, Mr. and Mrs. Samsa. One day, Gregor Samsa wakes up to discover that he has transformed into a giant insect. He lays in bed, reflecting on his tedious life as a salesman. He realizes he's overslept and will be late for work. He wonders what his boss will do. His mother knocks on the door and he answers her. When he does so, Gregor notices that his voice sounds very different. His mother does not notice. Gregor's sister, Grete, begs him to open the door. When he tries to get out of bed, he realizes he cannot. Gregor hears his office manager at the door inquiring about his whereabouts. Gregor manages to roll his body off the bed onto the floor. He calls out to let the clerk know he will be out shortly. The office manager is offended and cautions him about the consequences of skipping work. He also notes that Gregor has been failing to satisfy his employers. Gregor protests, but no one can decipher his words. They assume that he has fallen gravely ill. Finally, Gregor is able to open the door. His mother immediately faints upon seeing him in his transformed state. The office manager flees. When Gregor chases after him, his father corrals him back into the bedroom with a cane and a newspaper. He falls asleep. When Gregor wakes up, he notices milk and bread in his room. While he is very hungry, he has no taste for the milk. The next day, his sister comes in. She replaces the milk with rotting food scraps, which her brother quickly consumes. She cleans up his room while he hides under the couch, fearing that he might scare her. This becomes a routine. Grete brings food and cleans up after him while he hides. Gregor overhears his family members talk about their stressful financial situation. Now that Gregor cannot go to work, the family is struggling to make ends meet. Gregor is sad that he can't provide for his family. He is also sad that he will not be able to send his sister to the conservatory to study violin. His mother wants to visit Gregor, but his sister and father refuse. They know she will be too disturbed. Gregor gradually becomes more accustomed to his new body. He climbs the walls for fun. Grete and his mother begin to remove furniture to give him more space. But when his mother sees Gregor on the wall, she faints. Gregor exits the room and enters the kitchen. There, he runs into his father. His father throws apples at him, and he is severely injured. His movements are paralyzed for a month. The Samsas take in 3 boarders for additional income. One day, a cleaning lady leaves Gregor's door open while the boarders rest in the living room. Grete is playing violin for them. Normally, Gregor tries to avoid encounters with anyone, but he has been so depressed lately that he hopes the music will pick up his spirits. One of the boarders sees Gregor, and they all become alarmed. The boarders announce that they are moving out without paying rent due to the filthy conditions of living. Grete has grown tired of feeding and cleaning up after her brother. She advises her parents that they must dispose of him. Mr. Samsa agrees. Gregor overhears this conversation, and he is overcome with remorse for the trouble he has caused. He retreats to his room, where he dies. His family is relieved. Mr. Samsa evicts the boarders and fires the cleaning lady. The Samsas travel out to the countryside to look for a smaller apartment. On this trip, Mr. and Mrs. Samsa admire their daughter, who has grown up to be quite an attractive young lady. They decide it is time for her to find a husband. Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis is about Gregor Samsa, a traveling salesman who wakes up one day to find that he has transformed into a giant insect. His family is disgusted with him, especially when he is no longer able to earn income. Gregor eventually dies, after deciding that he is a burden to his family.